I'm officially hanging up the tier list and retiring from Powerscaling. You read that YouTube title, right? I, Blast Processing 16, am officially done with scaling videos. I'm not going to be making any more videos on them at all. What started as a chill hobby has devolved into something less enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, I love the deep dives. Digging into canon statements, developer quotes, and in-game lore to see how strong these characters hypothetically are was always a vibe. Whether it was anime, manga, or games, I genuinely cared about the stories and the actual science behind the feats. But the deeper I got into the community, the more I realized I just don't like doing this anymore. Churning out videos on attack potency and arguing over tiers has become, a repetitive chore that doesn't fulfill me. The constant cycle of debates and debunking is exhausting, and it's reached the point where the hobby feels completely pointless. I've been waiting for the right time to get these thoughts down so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. If you're still out there grinding the tiers and finding your tribe in Powerscaling, that's cool. You're allowed to like what you like, so don't let my burnout ruin your fun. I'm just a dude, give my opinion on a subject I've officially checked out of. Anyway, let's get right into the video. Honestly, writing out a part for this is kind of tricky, as there is a lot, to say when it comes to what I don't like about Powerscaling in general. But if I had to pick, it'd probably be the tier list, man. Honestly, bro, the tier list is the one thing that just makes zero sense, dude. Like, I understand what these terms mean, don't get me wrong. I've done extensive research on a lot of these things, through the Versus Battles wiki and the character stats and profiles Wikipedia, but overall, the more I start to realize it, things like Universal and Boundless just seem kinda dumb and daring. Tier lists at that level aren't even about fighting anymore, they're basically just competitive theology. Once you hit Universal, you've graduated from who can punch harder to whose Arthur used the bigger word in the lore book. That's basically it. It's the point where the scale breaks because people are trying to quantify things that are, by definition, unquantifiable. Like, Universal is the ultimate I win button, because it claims a character is fundamentally beyond the very concepts of dimension, space, and time. It's hilarious because a character will be scaled to Universal based on one line of flavor text about transcending all concepts, but then they still need a map to find the villain's lair. It's fucking stupid. It relies entirely on how much weight you give to a creator using words like archetype or platonic without them actually knowing the philosophical headache they're causing. To explain these tiers, I'll give you the basic definition of both Universal and Boundless. The definition for Universal is characters that have no dimensional limitations and are beyond scientific definition thereof. Basically, a being or an object which is above and beyond dimensional measure. Things that would be considered this tier would usually, but not always, be something that is completely formless, abstract, and transcendental. And for Boundless, a boundless entity is one who is able to transcend the logical framework of the Outerverse, which, much like it, transcended the logical framework of cardinal dimensions. This does not entail simply being stronger than an Outerversal structure. This tier extends infinitely above. There's also this fucking term, extraversal, right? From character stats and profiles, which means characters who can significantly affect things which would have their size expressed as infinity on a scale of, where 1 is baseline Universal level and 2 is baseline high Universal level. This tier extends to any number beyond countable infinity, and in rare cases it may even expand past the point where the aforementioned analogy is not enough to convey the full scope of the character's or structure. You see, reading all that, man, honestly, it's funny because a character who is boundless or extraversal kind of defeats the fucking purpose of speculating why character A beats character B. Like, there's no fucking point explaining that shit, like at all. Like, it's just infinity versus infinity at that point. Once you hit the extraverse level, the versus part of the debate just fucking dies. It gets cancer and dies. That's literally it. It's the ultimate narrative stalemate. you're not even comparing feats anymore. You're just comparing how many layers of infinity a writer can stack before their brain fucking melts, dude. It turns a cool showdown into a contest of who can say, no, actually, I'm more infinite with a straighter face. In a script, conflict works because there are limits, dude. When you're dealing with extraversal characters, there are no fucking stakes because they're already transcended the concept of stakes. It's like watching two people play a game with cheat codes on. Sure, the explosions are fucking big, but who cares, dude? You end up with these boundless entities that are so powerful they can't even have a meaningful conversation, let alone a decent fight. It's the death of speculation because the answer to who wins is always just whoever the author says is more transcendental that, today. It's the peak of doing way too fucking much because you've scaled a character so high that the character isn't even a character anymore. It's the walking math error, bro. Like, dog, I've seen people using ontology or fucking other advanced concepts to prove how characters scale to universal. Even including myself in my own videos, bro. I'm fucking guilty of that. Even if it was a fun hobby, I'm guilty of this bullshit too. It's wild because you'll have a character who just breathes in a void and suddenly some guy in a forum is citing 17th century metaphysics to prove they're universal. They're out here fucking treating ontological superiority like it's a power level in Dragon Ball. Like you fucking use like a measure, you can measure that shit with Scouter from Dragon Ball or some shit, dude. Most of the time, the creator just thought it was like, it sounded hard to have a character exist beyond the concept of existence. But Powerscalers turned this shit into a full-blown existential crisis. I've even seen people bring up philosophical concepts and metaphysics to explain why their favorite character is universal or higher. Like, now I'm not denying that fiction doesn't work on metaphysics. I mean, like, it's not real, dude. I just believe the concept of doing all that just to prove a character has a specific kind of strength is just, like I said, doing too much, bro. Like, especially when it comes to cosmology scaling, bro. Which I'll get to later because that's a whole nother can of fucking worms. It's genuinely hilarious because it turns a script into a 400 level philosophy seminar that literally nobody signed up for. You'll have a character who just happens to exist in a realm beyond concepts, and suddenly scalers are digging up 18th century ontological arguments to prove they're universal. It's the ultimate fucking rage, dude. Instead of looking at the actual lore or what the creator intended, they're basically trying to weaponize Kant and Misuse? I don't fucking know what the fuck his name is. It's so hard to goddamn spell. I'm fucking butchering his name, dude. To win an online debate about how strong a cartoon character is. Yeah, bro, this shit just treats characters like calc monkeys, bro, and not actual characters with genuine writing behind it. And also, might I add, the term universal or extraversal? Those are not even real fucking terms used in fiction or everyday vocabulary at all. If you want to know the full context of how the term universal was actually made, then you're not gonna believe this shit when what I tell you next. The term outer was heavily inspired by outer gods from the Cthulhu mythos. H.P. Lovecraft, since those beings were described as existing outside the normal constraints of the universe and dimensions. The community needed a word that sounded like, more supreme than just multiversal. They just, slapped outer onto verse and called it a fucking day. They literally took the outer from Lovecraft's gods, realized multiverse wasn't cool enough for their page, and created a brand new word to make their hobby sound like a PhD in metaphysics. I don't really know if that's completely accurate, but showing from what the forums are saying on screen right now that I'm showing, I mean, it might be true. And if that is true, that's fucking stupid. Also, might I add that the fact that this is even on the wiki page of all things is, also stupid because may I remind people that we do not know what other dimensions look like beyond our own comprehension. We're out here struggling to imagine a fourth spatial dimension without our brains leaking out of our ears. But a wiki editor will look at a drawing of a glowing cube, look you dead ass right in your eyes, tell you with a straight face and say that it's high universal because it exists in a transfinite qualitative hierarchy. We don't know what the fuck a fifth dimension looks like, dude. Hell, we don't even know what the 11th dimension looks like. That was literally string theory, and string theory is literally a theorized like physics thing that we still don't understand the gist of yet. String theory is basically like, the whole I think this works, but I can't prove it yet of the scientific world, and yet power scalers treat M theory like it's a settled law of gravity, and that they act like the 11th dimension is just like a bigger room where you get a stat boost. When in actual physics, those extra dimensions are theorized to be microscopic and curled up to so tight, we can't even detect them, dude. The fact that someone will look at a character and say, oh, well, they're 11-dimensional, so they're high complex multiversal. Whoa. It's just fucking stupid. It's just pure comedy, man. Like, we can't even visualize a 4D shadow, but somehow these wikis have determined exactly how much more attack potency you get for every extra dimension you add. It turns a theoretical math problem into a random internet argument for how strong another fictional character is compared to another fictional character. It's just fucking insane. And it's not even like anyone can agree on who is out-of-versal and who's not. Anyways, it's like these fucking power scalers are always talking about dimensions and shit as if they understand that. Like 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D. Like again, we do not understand that, dude. Nobody understands that. Whenever we talk about dimensions, we only talk about them through a spatial perspective, not in a spatial perspective. Humans are not capable of thinking about high dimensions like that through a spatial lens, dude. It's kind of why most theories like string theory and much more were created to make sense of the world we live in. We can't even prove if those exist yet with the technology we have. It's the ultimate Dunning-Kruger effect. You've got people who probably struggled with high school geometry acting like they've mastered Calabi-Yell manifolds. They treat 5D or 8D like it's a bigger room where you can punch harder, completely ignoring that in actual physics we can't even confirm if these extra dimensions are anything more than math on a chalkboard. Scaling through an aspatial lens is where it gets truly delusional, because humans are biologically hardwired to think in terms of up, down, left, and right, forward, and back. The moment a scalar starts talking about some fucking character being out-of-versal because they transcend the concept of dimensions, they're trying to quantify the unquantifiable, bro. Like let's be fucking for real. String theory, again, is a theoretical framework meant to fix math errors in particle physics, not a guide for how many universes a fictional guy can blow up, dude. It turns a creative script into pseudoscience circle jerk, where the person with the most confident sounding gibberish just wins, dude. It just gets redundant. It gets a bit redundant. I'm gonna be honest. Like, bro, this shit is purely subjective towards other people, man. Like, who the hell cares about this genuinely? And the fact that I've seen people saying Powerscaling is important for stories is just fucking stupid, okay? I know people are gonna be mad at me for saying that shit, but bro, power scaling isn't what's important, okay? That's what I think. You're thinking of narrative consistency. That's not really power scaling. That's just actually good writing, not power scaling. When a shonen writer or a comic book writer is writing who is stronger than who, that is not power scaling, okay? That is just the world building, of a show, or like a manga, or like a comic book, or whatever the fuck. Power scaling is the method of determining and comparing the relative strength, speed, and abilities of fictional characters by analyzing a character's on-screen accomplishments, quote-unquote feats, and comparing them to others. Fans and writers establish logical hierarchies to predict the victor in hypothetical battles. But, see, the thing is, writers don't do that. I got that from fucking Google, by the way. See, the thing is, I don't really agree with that. I don't think writers be doing that shit, because, at all in their own shows. Because, spoiler alert, let's be fucking real, none of it is actually consistent. They don't give a shit. Writers aren't sitting in a room with calculators trying to figure out if a character's punch has the energy output of a supernova. They're thinking about the narrative payoff and the eternal logic of the world they built. If a writer makes a character stronger than another, that's world building. It's setting the stakes. It's not power scaling in the sense of that word. The idea that an author cares about whether their fucking character is planet level, universe level, multiverse level, outerverse, or extraversal is just fucking, who the fuck is thinking about this in our writing, dude? Nobody. Literally no one. They don't even calculate that shit in the slightest. A writer wants a fight to look sick and for the hero to overcome the fucking odds of the story, dude. They don't give a damn about attack potency or dimensional tiering. When a scaler says a story needs power scaling, what they actually mean is they want the story to be a series of feats they can use to win an argument on a forum. It's the death of creativity, dude. It's completely anti-art. Real writing is about the journey and the logical consistency of the verse, not who has the most high out-of-versal statements in a lore book that the author probably wrote while half asleep, dude. I've really seen some people say power scaling is deeply rooted in media, particularly in genres like shonen anime and superhero comic books, where characters constantly get stronger throughout the story. Like, okay, yes, that's somewhat true, but again, that's not. I don't really think that's power scaling. Like, power scaling is a fan-made term, dude. Nobody wants to admit that, but it's a fan-made term, dude. It originated within anime, comic, and gaming fandoms to describe the practice of estimating a fictional character's power or determining who would win in hypothetical fights against other characters from specific fandoms, Power scaling is the method of determining a fictional character's comparative strength, speed, and overall abilities by analyzing their accomplishments and in-universe statements. It allows the fans to predict outcomes of hypothetical fights between characters from the same or different universes. But notice how no actual writer genuinely cares about this shit. I'm gonna prove it right fucking now by using Spider-Man. Let's take how Spider-Man, a street tier level hero by the way, literally damages and restrains beings like Firelord, Silver Surfer, the fucking Hulk, and Juggernaut, dude. Which, makes no goddamn sense, by the way, like, at all, through the actual narrative. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Even with all the already established rules of the Marvel Comics, they straight up throw that shit away in the favor of the story. Firelord is a former herald of Galactus. He has the power cosmic, he can fly through stars, travel faster than light, and has durability that lets him shrug off planet-cracking blows. And here is Spider-Man in the symbiote suit, somehow beating the brakes off him, bro. You seeing this shit? Keep in mind, Firelord also went up against Hercules, dude, and won. In the fucking Thor 225 issue, dude. Keep in mind, Hercules is the same dude in the later comics who is capable of matching Atlas' strength by lifting up the heavens, which is the Axis Mundi. The fact that the weight is explicitly described as infinite and immeasurable is the fucking key right there, man. In the Marvel lore, this burden scales to be everything you can bear plus more, because it represents the collective weight of infinite planes of reality. By bearing this weight, Hercules performed a feat that is qualitatively superior to any standard physical measurement. And keep in mind, Firelord and Silver Surfer have literally fought before, which makes even less sense, because in Silver Surfer's own words, he literally said to Doctor Strange in his astral form, who was reaching out across the fucking cosmos to find the Surfer because Thanos has just returned and things are about to hit the fucking fan. Though, he literally says, though I be galaxies distance from your blue world, neither the infinity of space nor time eternal shall keep me from your side. Surfer is galaxies distant, but responds to a telepathic summons and arrives at Earth almost instantly by stating that the infinity of space and time eternal won't keep him away. He's canonically confirming that these concepts are irrelevant to his travel. And then you just have fucking Spider-Man, a guy who struggles with the Vulture, literally webs the face of Silver Surfer and slams him. Like, what? What? The Silver Surfer is fucking, he has cosmic awareness and immeasurable speed. He should be like able to perceive every molecule of that web before Peter, even thinks about pressing the trigger, dude. Instead, he's acting like he just got fucking jumped in a dark alley. He got like fucking mugged and shit. The dialogue, where Silver Surfer says, my head, what have you done? That is just, that is what some will call plot-induced stupidity. And plot-induced stupidity is essentially the narrative nerf bat. It's a term used to describe moments where a character acts significantly below their established power level, intelligence, or capability just to move the story forward to, or create a specific outcome. Power scaling is built on the idea of logical consistency that if character A beats character B, they must be stronger, but honestly, I'd argue that PIS completely nukes that logic. Because if the Silver Surfer gets webbed in the face by Spider-Man, the Power Scaler will try to argue Spider-Man has magical speed, which in reality, the writer just needed a funny power, panel that Feats shouldn't really be taken seriously. But you already know some dumbass, some asshole out there is doing exactly that, trying to do 50 million hoop flips just to prove a point. PIS creates outliers that scalers either ignore to use to wank a character to ridiculous heights. It turns every discussion into a debate about which version of the character is the real one, when the real answer is whoever the writer needs them to be today. Like I said before, writers are storytellers, not math monkeys. They care about narrative stakes and thematic payoffs, not whether a character's attack ability aligns with their cosmology. Like, dude, sit down for a minute and just genuinely imagine the main character of a story fucking dying in one shot because his author didn't scale him correctly. Like, nobody is reading that shit, bro. And can we please talk about this dumbass comic panel where Wolverine somehow manages to slice Thanos' arm off when he was caught off guard? Like, what the fuck is this shit, dude? What is this? Like, Wolverine somehow manages to cut Thanos' arm off, even though Thanos is, way more durable than Wolverine, by the way. Last time Wolverine did that claw bullshit, Thanos wouldn't even, he didn't even break a sweat. He just fucking used the Reality Stone to turn Loki's indestructible and adamantium skeleton into rubber. That is, actual proper writing right there. That's proper narrative consistency. And now, going back to Silver Surfer, he quite literally breaks out of Doctor Strange's fucking magic, which is stupid. Okay, so first of all, Doctor Strange is using the roving rings of Ragador, a spell meant to bind entities on a metaphysical and conceptual level, right? Usually, if you're caught in those, the fight's just fucking over. It's over. It's done. There's nothing you do. They don't care how much you can bench press. And somehow, this motherfucker, Silver Surfer, breaks out of that shit with ease. With relative ease. Like how, dude? Doctor Strange is literally the same guy who banished Shumagorath, by the way. Let that shit sink in. This is fucking dumb. Come on, bro. You can look at these panels and tell me this is stupid. Bro literally fell through infinity trying to do this, by the way. Which is from the Marvel premiere, issue 10. Shumagorath rules hundreds of dimensions and existed before the concept of time and space, or even a thought in the Marvel multiverse. If Strange is capable of surviving a mental and metaphysical assault from an entity like Shumagorath that views the entire multiverse as a light snack, his magic's operating on a higher level. The fact that he eventually banishes Shumagorath proves his spells have the potency to affect beings that are qualitatively superior to the very idea of dimensions. And you fucking expect me to believe that somehow Silver Surfer can beat Doctor Strange? Fuck no! No! What are we fucking insane? This is why the Silver Surfer flexing out of Strange's magic is just pure fucking stupidity. His Surfer can flex out of the magic that banished an extraversal Chaos Lord, which is fucking Shumagorath. Then the Surfer is somehow more extraversal? Genuinely think about that. That makes no fucking sense, does it? That makes no sense at all. Not at all. Not a lick of sense at all, dude. What? Seriously. It turns the whole story into a recursive loop of nonsense. Scalers would try to argue that Strange was amped or that Shumagorath was weakened, but the reality is that the writer just wanted a high-stakes ending and didn't care that they were breaking the logical hierarchy of the universe. How the fuck is this bullshit even important at this point? Genuinely, this makes no sense at all. I mean, hey, if you guys want to point out why in the comments, go on ahead. I'm not stopping you, man. You can critique the video all you want, but come on, man. You can't. You gotta admit this is fucking stupid. And the fact that Spider-Man, which again, same dude who treated Silver Surfer like a ragdoll, whereas Silver Surfer was capable of breaking free from Doctor Strange's magic, makes no fucking sense narrative-wise. It is genuinely the most unhinged narrative jump in Marvel history. It's the ultimate narrative middle finger to anyone trying to keep a consistent script. And again, Spider-Man was not amped at all. He was literally in his base form when he did this this shit. It's dumb. It's dumb. If Peter had like the uni power or some cosmic artifact or some shit, you know, you could at least try to balance the equation. But doing it in base form is just, it's just fucking, it's disrespect to the whole universe, man. Like bro, how the fuck was Spider-Man capable of restraining Juggernaut? Like, he is fueled by the Crimson Gem of Cytorag, man. Juggernaut returns to Earth through sheer force of will. Sheer fucking will, dude. And might I add, after he was banished to an alternate universe by the cosmic entity Eternity, you know? Also, do y'all see what is happening in this fucking panel right here that I'm showing right now? I literally saw this shit and went, what the actual fuck is going on here? In the top panel, Eternity, who was the literal personification of the multiverse in the textbook extraversal entity, doesn't even break a sweat. He views Juggernaut as a troublesome bacterium, effortlessly tossing him into oblivion. Eternity doesn't even have a body. He's just conceptually, he just has like conceptual existence, dude. He's just like trying to punch him. It's like trying to punch the concept of Tuesday, dude. He is, and I quote, an abstract entity with no physical attributes, and said he is the manifestation of your concept of my very existence. Which literally confirms he is space, the time, and the logic that allows godlings to even think. This is why Powerscaling is fucking stupid. Like, and look what this guy Juggernaut is fucking doing in this panel! You've got Juggernaut fucking ripping through the fabric of space-time and smashing into another dimension through sheer physical force, dude. That makes no fucking sense. How is he doing that? You want me to believe that a street tier hero who once restrained this same exact guy got fucking, who's holding onto his fucking back and getting him stuck in wet cement? That makes no fucking sense. Stupid. Fucking stupid. No, like, I'm not believing that shit. People will look you dead in the eye and try to make an excuse for Juggernaut getting caught off guard by Spider-Man, saying some shit like, oh yeah, he was nerfed. Yeah, he was just nerfed, bro. It's the fucking Juggernaut. Like, get fucking for real. In what universe is Juggernaut weaker than Spider-Man somehow? Literally, what universe? What the hell are we talking about? The he was just nerfed excuse is the ultimate emergency brace for scarers whose spreadsheets just got set on fire by a writer with a lit Molotov. Motherfucker threw that shit at the scaler's home and burned that shit down, man. This shit is ridiculous. Like, how the fuck is Spider-Man speed blitzing the fucking Hulk, man? The Hulk is not slow, dude. Hulk is fast as fuck. He should be turning Spider-Man into tomato paste. And then there's a fucking panel where he did that shit twice. The writer literally sat down, had Spider-Man brag about his reflexes that are 40 times faster than a normal person's, by the way. Like, while he's dancing around the Hulk. Keep in mind, I want you to keep this in mind, okay? A normal human reaction time is about 250 milliseconds, if Peter was like, if Peter is 40 times faster, his reaction time is roughly 5 milliseconds, dude. That is barely superhuman speed. Meanwhile, the Hulk has consistently reacted to and tagged Silver Surfer in Thor's Mjolnir, dude. Both of which possess massively faster than light, plus to immeasurable speeds, dude. This is why Powerscaling is completely dumb as fuck. See, this is why. Think about the sheer math monkey bullshit going off on that, going off on that 40 times human reflexes line, dude. That makes no fucking sense. A human reacts in about 200 milliseconds, dude. So Peter reacts in 5 milliseconds. That's barely superhuman speed. Again, meanwhile, the Silver Surfer and Hulk have reacted to things moving across galaxies in seconds, which is massively faster than light plus to immeasurable speed. Again, the writer, the fact that the writer had Peter brag about being 40 times faster while dancing around a guy who views time eternal, that's just nothing. It's just like, it's the definition of fucking stupidity right there. Like that, who the fuck wrote that, man? The motherfucker Spider-Man should be turned into a fucking pancake, dude. Or shell cake. In the consistent script, the Hulk should be perceiving Spider-Man as a literal statue. The motherfucker would be literally standing, like, right there in front of him. And he would fucking clap his hands, like, dead. Squashed like a fucking bug. So the fuck do you mean that Spider-Man is, like, moving around the Hulk like that? Dude, like, what? So the fuck does that mean for Spider-Man then? This shit makes no sense. And then Powerscales look you dead in the eye and go, that feat is an outlier. Great, yeah, no, yeah, good, Don't even get me started on Dragon Ball Powerscaling, because that shit sucks worse, dude. I'm gonna be for real. I'm probably gonna piss off so many people with this take. Like, I'm gonna be honest, even in Dragon Ball Z, the power sets fucking sucked and were inconsistent to high up, man. Even in Dragon Ball Z, the power sets were just, like, completely all over the place. And it's just like, dude, you've got Master Roshi, right? A guy with, like, a power level under 200. Like it's barely 200. It's, like, around 180. Literally vaporizing the moon in early Dragon Ball. By the time you get to the Namek Saga, characters are in the millions. Like, they're, like, millions of times stronger. Yet, they're still fighting on a single planet without, like, accidentally, like, sneezing and deleting the solar system. If Master Roshi is moon level for vaporizing the moon, King Vegeta is essentially 50 Roshis taped together. Because in the anime, he literally waved his hand and deleted, like, 3 planets and their moons simultaneously. When writing the script, I literally just realized that Master Roshi should not have been able to blow up the moon, even with a single Kamehameha, because his power level was not even big enough to do that shit. Like, King Vegeta is way stronger than this guy, and he's able to, like, destroy, like, all these planets. If you actually look at the math, that one moment just nukes the entire consistency of the series before it even hits the Z era. Roshi's power level and his max power was roughly 180. If a guy with a power level of 180 has a type on Z to vaporize a celestial body with a diameter of 2,159 miles, right? So that's how far the moon is. Then the rest of the series is just, it's just a statistical nightmare. Then, like, that's just like, it's fucking insane. It's insane. And I even looked on the Daisensu 7 during the time making the script. And I tried looking up Goku's base power level for when he fights Piccolo in the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. And it's like they never fucking give him a base level for his power level, dude. They just fucking put, oh, his power level is 910 when he does the Super Kamehameha. Like, fuck off! Fuck off! No, fuck you. Give me a base. I need a base number for when he's fighting Piccolo, dude. Like, they bothered to give Chi-Chi a fucking power level of 130. But when you look into the person who fucking trained her, her dad, the fucking Ox King, is fat fuck. He doesn't even remotely come close to Chi-Chi's power level. Keep in mind, this bitch Chi-Chi is literally 130 when the 23rd Tenkaichi arc was out. Now, also keep in mind, there isn't a single piece of canon evidence for what the Ox King's power level is, by the way. This shit pissed me the fuck off when I was trying to find it. Since he has no canon power level, we have to, like, rely on the narrative pecking order, or, he was, like, Roshi's student, but the story treats him like a total fucking jobber who can't even handle a house fire. If he's weaker than his daughter, it implies he's the worst fucking teacher in the world, in the history of martial arts. And somehow this motherfucker has a power level of 900 in a non-canon movie, which is the world's strongest, by the way. Let me explain why that's fucking dumb. I'm aware this is just a non-canon number, but, like, let me genuinely explain why that's dumb. In the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, right, Goku and Piccolo were probably fighting for their lives with base power levels in the, I would like to say, 320, 350 range. Probably fucking wrong. But, if the Ox King was sitting at 900, he would have just walked into that ring, one-shotted both of them at the same time, and just walked the fuck out. He would have been the strongest being on the planet by a massive margin. Yet, he spent the whole time in the audience like a regular civilian. And bro, take a read at this bullshit. Notice how the chart literally just skips the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament entirely. It goes from King Piccolo 260 to straight to fucking Raditz, which is 416. Raditz's power level is 1,500, by the way. Hold on to that for later. In a manga panel, Raditz is literally losing his mind because Goku's power level, like, hits 924, specifically while charging the Kamehameha. Raditz even spells it out. Somehow, he can focus all his energy into a single point. Again, in the 23rd Budokai, the guide listed 18-year-old Goku at 910. 5 years later, after training with a literal god and raising a kid, Goku's peak charge attack only hits 924. This implies that in 5 years of training, of intense fucking training, Goku only gained like 14 fucking points of power. That is the most pathetic progression in shonen history, dude. That's fucking stupid. Like, the fact that Raditz was scared of this shit is dumb. It's completely dumb. Why the fuck is he scared? His power level is thousands of times greater than that shit. It makes the entire 5-year time skip look like a fucking vacation. Again, Master Orochi at 180 is the gold standard for, you know, tier 5C moon level, you know, because he vaporized the fucking moon. That's pretty obvious. Like, it was right there on screen, dude. At 1,500, Raditz is over 8.3 times stronger than the man who deleted a celestial body. He shouldn't just be stronger than Goku and Piccolo. He should be able to sneeze and accidentally delete the entire Earth's crust. We literally saw the panel where Raditz is terrified of Goku's Kamehameha hitting 924. If Raditz is literally 1,500, right? He has the energy output of nearly 4 fucking moons. Why was he dodging a 2-moon blast like his life depended on it? He should have literally swatted that shit away like a fly. But he didn't! When Goku held Raditz, Piccolo shot Raditz, and Goku... First of all, I get Goku dying. But Raditz should not have died. Because, like, hello, bro. Like, look bro, the power levels, man. Piccolo's special beam cannon, you know, peaked at, like, 1,480. I legit fucking Googled this shit when making this script. Like, at 1,500... Raditz is statistically over 8.3 times stronger than a Moonbuster. Why did the guy with a small planet level durability get fucking murdered by an attack that has less raw energy than his own base? I don't fucking know. Oh yeah, speaking of power levels, we still don't know what the power level is, you know, for end of GT Goku. I just wanted to get to that because end of GT Goku is a fucking enigma. We literally don't know how strong he is. Like, now that could be because of, after all the shit, you know, after all the, sagas from Z, they officially just gave the fuck up with doing power levels, because that shit was getting more and more nonsensical. And it was just, like, so hard to keep up with. GT Goku's base form at the end of the Shadow Dragon Saga is already a statistical anomaly, dude. He was stated in the GT Perfect Files to be the strongest hero in the universe, and narrative-wise. Like, bro, he was quite literally surpassing Super Vegito from Z, just in his base form there. Just from all the feats he's done. When Goku leaves with Shenron at the end of GT, right? He isn't just a Saiyan anymore, bro. He literally merged with the Dragon Balls, which are conceptual artifacts that can grant any fucking wish you desire. Writers have literally stated that this Goku is not the Goku we know. He has achieved a level of existence that is superior to the rest of the cast at the end of GT. Okay, so now I used to hype this up, right? I hype this shit up a lot and say all the stuff about GT Goku being boundless or whatever. You know, that's still valid. If anyone thinks that, you know, whatever, what the fuck ever, man. You know, we can. It's your opinion, dude. You can scale them where you want to. I don't give a shit. But I'm speaking about this from a narrative perspective. I just realized how fucking dumb this writing is. Because it literally just makes Goku this all-seeing god that just looks down on the entire Dragon Ball world. He literally just stops progressing. He's like fucking Jesus Christ now. He's Jesus Christ of the entire series in the end of GT. Like, he's fucking Monkey Jesus, dude. He's Monkey Jesus! The progression stops because there's nowhere left to go. They literally turned him into a messianic figure who was everywhere and nowhere at once. He's watching his descendants 100 years later like a cosmic voyeur, like fully detached from the struggle that made the series great. It just strips the soul out of the work hard to get stronger theme and replaces it with a guy who just transcends that. that need for effort. And this is literally what it says about the end of GT Goku, by the way. It's literally based on Taoism. It's a fucking Buddhist concept, dude. Let that fucking this shit is like, this is some fan fiction shit. Like, this is like Dragon Ball After Future before Dragon Ball After Future. Before those fucking Super Saiyan transformations, like Super Saiyan 100 and all that other bullshit, bro. Like, he isn't just strong, he's now fundamental part of the universe's metaphysical architecture. It's exactly like those fucking Dragon Ball AF fanfics from the early 2000s, where Goku gets Super Saiyan 5 and becomes a god who lives in the void. Like, come on, bro. It turns the story into about a guy who likes to fight and turn him into like a fucking religious parable that nobody fucking asked for it. Like, wow, what a pointless fucking ending to this series. Like, where's the progression? He just becomes God now? That's it? He's a fucking religion now? Like, he's the goddamn Messiah? He's fucking Allah now? The Prophet of Muhammad? Like, you can't even beat that. Like, you can't even beat End of GT Goku. Like, how do you power scale that? It kills the whole point of Dragon Ball. Like, the series is built on the next level, but where do you even go after you've merged with the literal wish-granting mechanics of your own universe? He's everywhere and nowhere, watching his great-great-grandkids like a fucking cosmic warrior, dude. I can already see the fucking Powers girls in the comments saying some dumb shit like, Goku so is Jesus, man. Hey, stop saying that shit! Shut up! God, bro. Like, I've generally seen people type shit like that, bro. Like saying Goku can defeat God. Like, are we fucking serious? Are we deadass right now? Like, how fucking far gone are we to the point where we're trying to power scale a hypothetical battle between Jesus Christ and fucking Son Goku, bro? Dragon Ball was about a guy who liked to train and eat food. Now it's a spreadsheet for the afterlife. If Goku is Monkey Jesus, then the versus part of the debate is dead, because you're already just arguing over which metaphor is more infinite. It turns the legendary Shonen into a toxic seminar on metaphysics where the only rule is my favorite character is more transcendental than yours. It's fucking stupid. It's dumb. This literally goes back to my fucking point about how power scaling is stupid. Like, this shit is like little Timmy saying his superpower is more infinite than some other dumb fucking kid's infinity, bro. Like, how is this even fair, man? This shit is like unfair matchmaking in Call of Duty, bro. Bro's putting characters out there like as rank 10s against like the fucking hackers, bro. They be spawning nukes and shit in the map. These infinity level gods and shit. This is dumb as hell. Like, I mean, shit, I lowkey can't even be mad since GT Goku isn't even canon. The ending is still ass though, bro. Like can I see Goku get a new form other than Super Saiyan 4, bro? Why did they decide to end it like that? That's not fucking poetic. That just comes off as overly cheesy. Like, wow, he just descends to another plane of life itself. Fucking amazing. They really spent the whole series turning Goku into a whole ass kid again just to match the same vibe as OG Dragon Ball and hyping up the next level of power, only to end it with a fucking, trust me, bro, he's God now. Like, what the actual fuck, man? It's cheesy as hell because it's basically saying Goku is too good for the world, you know? He's leaving to become a religious metaphor. It's the storytelling equivalent of taking a shit on a table, giving it a metaphor for religion, and then walking out of that situation because you've already decided you're the winner. Like this is just fucking insane to me. Bro, I haven't even gotten into how bullshit cosmology scaling is. Like, since when the fuck did the universe of a character, you know, where the character lives in, affect how hard they can punch? Who the fuck is genuinely asking this shit? I thought the whole fucking point of power scaling is, hey bro, how strong do you think this character is? And it's like, when you start talking about cosmology bullshit, it turns into pure brain-melting slop. Bro starts talking about philosophical, platonic, metaphysical concepts that literally nobody in their daily life has ever heard of at all. And you just gotta fucking nod your head like, yeah, I totally understand that. That makes a lot of sense. Like, imagine being in a normal conversation talking about, yo, bro, who do you think wins in a fight, Spider-Man or Chuck Norris? And the dude who's talking about Chuck Norris starts talking about fucking Plato's Republic. Like, bro, I didn't ask you about fucking Plato's Republic and Socrates in ancient Greece rage-baiting people, man. I asked you a simple fucking question. And then bro starts talking about some Jungian physics. Like, what the fuck? Bro, what? What are you saying to me, man? This is like another alien language we haven't even invented yet, and you're somehow capable of formulating that shit into a sentence. Because of this fucking hobby, I learned what a Maynong's jungle is. What the fuck is a Maynong's jungle, bro? You cannot be fucking dead ass with this shit. Like, literally name one person who knows this in real life. Outside of fucking Powerscaling debates. You can't. They don't exist, bro. They don't exist unless they're actively reading these fucking philosophical ass books, man. And it's like going back to the cosmology scaling. We don't know what it would be like to perceive infinite dimensions or more. Why the fuck are there power scalers trying to act like Bill Nye the Science Guy, thinking they can understand this shit, bro? Me included. I'm guilty of this shit, bro. Scalers genuinely act like they've got a GoPro strapped to a fifth dimensional entity. Our brains are biologically hardwired for length, width, and height. The second a writer starts saying infinite dimensions, they're just using it as a synonym for really big and confusing. They aren't inviting you to, calculate the Hashdra's dimension of a character's fucking soul. Like, bro, why the fuck does cosmology scaling even matter? Like, can we talk about actual important shit? Like, how smart is my character? How can my character outsmart the other? How strong is he? Can he bench press a planet, a universe? Like, we obviously have shit like that in these types of debates, but some nerdy dipshits didn't think, that shit was good enough, I guess. Which is why we have fucking shit like Out-of-Versal and Boundless. Like, can we stop pretending like we understand this shit and just do versus debates the traditional way? Instead of acting like fucking pseudoscientists and shit. You got people using fucking Aleph null and cardinal infinites and shit just to prove a character is Out-of-Versal or higher. This can burn your fucking soul out, bro. Traditional versus debates were actually fun because, they were about the characters and not a 500 level seminar on theoretical physics. We used to talk about whether a character could just, bench press a planet or how many tons they could lift, or if they had the extraordinary genius to outsmart a god. Now, if you don't have a degree in transfinite mathematics and a minor in, 18th century German philosophy, you can't even participate because some of these guys will tell you your favorite character is fodder because their universe only has like 10 dimensions instead of 11. Like, how the fuck is that fun? In what way is that fun? Like, how the hell is that even fun in the slightest? Who the fuck is having fun in that shit? Literally who? And I also like to fucking add, some power scalers are just fucking dumb sometimes, bro. And it's literally so fucking annoying. Like, I low-key had a scaler tell me that hypersonic isn't canon. And when I literally told this dude, no, they are canon. They're literally gray stones in the in Mania, which are the super emeralds. Bro just straight up tells me they're just decorations for the background. And then doubles down and says, well, why didn't he use them in Sonic Generations? I'm gonna fucking crash out, dude. Because he didn't fucking have that in the game, dude. He didn't fucking have access to the Super Emeralds in Generations, you fucking... Did we play the same game? In Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you have to unlock the Super Emeralds by fucking standing on the pillars in Hidden Palace Zone. Then you get them all. You can't just do that shit in Generations. You Nimrod? What the hell kind of fucking question is that? It's a fucking ritual process, man. And even then, even if you could do that, he wouldn't be able to, because White had literally said the Super Emeralds turned to stone. They went to the special stage dimension. Goddamn pissing me off, bro. I literally have to teach this guy on English literature and English context because he could not comprehend. It was so difficult of a goddamn concept to him that he couldn't comprehend the basic fucking understanding of past tense. Like, if Sonic hadn't already used the Super Emeralds, they wouldn't have been gray and cracked. That implies they were used. If they weren't used, they would still have their color. This guy was so goddamn stubborn though. Like, he was genuinely convinced Hypersonic is non-canon. Like, what? It's literally the true ending of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You can Google this. Like, what? Like, dude, I don't care where people scale the emeralds at this point. I just feel like arguing with a power scaler is just annoying as shit. I'd rather be doing other shit with my time, bro. Like, arguing with a power scaler is like arguing with your bitch wife that you hate. You know she's wrong, but she just won't shut her fat fucking mouth. Arguing with a power scaler is essentially like talking to a brick wall that has a degree in mental gymnastics. Like, doing fucking Batman acrobatics and shit. Like, doing front flips in the air like a fucking leprechaun on crack and shit. Like, it's not even for fucking Sonic, dude. It's just like, it can literally be anything about power scaling. Like, you can be right about something and then there be some dumbass saying you're wrong. And then when you try to do research and show people links and shit, they'll still say you're wrong. Like, I deadass fucking looked up on the DC Wikipedia one time about something, trying to prove something about Superman being out of Ursula or some shit, and bro low-key just said, "Oh, you used a fan wiki. You can't do that." Bro, it's literally using official canon sources. What the actual fuck do you mean? They act like the information on the page was just hallucinated by a teenager in a fucking basement, completely ignoring the fact that the page is literally just a collection of scans, issue numbers, and creator quotes. If the wiki says Superman lifted a book with infinite pages and provides the goddamn scan from the Final Crisis, saying that's a fan wiki doesn't make the book any lighter. It's peak denial. It's fucking denial. Even when you Google shit and show them the shit, they legit just go, "Bro, that's AI." It's fucking Google! They're saying that shit because fucking Google AI. Like, bro, how else am I supposed to show it to you? Like, you don't know something? Google it, man. Shit! Like, bro, I even remember being called a fucking downplayer for saying Sonic and Shadow are fucking equals. Let that sink in. I was called a downplayer for saying Sonic and Shadow are equals. The rival characters are equals. Are you actually fucking kidding me? Like, are we serious? Are we fucking serious? It literally says this in decades of manuals. Bro came up to my channel, said my video was bad. It's like, bro, he did this unwarranted, by the way. I didn't say anything bad about this guy. Dude just comes at me when I debunk his take on Sonic vs. Shadow, and he even goes as far as to say I made him look like the bad guy? Somehow? All because I made a debunk video on the guy. Like, what the fuck, bro? And this dude was low-key trying to argue that Sonic had 10 years of experience, by the way. That was a decade. And I had to fucking explain to this guy that does not canonically add up at all. And bro starts going to fucking Powerpuff Girls and fucking Ben 10 because I literally had to explain to this guy if Sonic was 10 years old, no, not 10 years old, sorry. If Sonic has had 10 years of experience and he was 15 at the start of Sonic 1, 15 take away 10, bro, is 5. He would be 5 years old in Sonic 1 and a grown-ass middle-aging man in Sonic Frontiers. That shit does not add up at all. But bro was insistent on the fact that Sonic could be a fucking toddler, fighting Eggman. Even though classic Sonic and modern Sonic are literally the same goddamn age. It's been confirmed. They're literally in a floating timeline, dude. And bro even brings up Samurai Jack, and I'm just like, bro, Samurai Jack does not age. He literally got sent back in time by Aku and suffers a curse because of that. But he still kept fucking going. This guy was so fucking... He was determined to prove me wrong. Even though I was giving him the actual... I literally told this guy, look it up, bro. It's real. Like, this is real. This is real. But he didn't care. He was so adamant about it. Jack literally exists outside of aging because Aku's temporal displacement. It's a specific magical curse, not a standard for every fucking character, dude. And Ben 10 actually has defined timeline where you literally see him grow from 10, 16 to 80. Yeah, how dare you not treat Sonic like an unbeatable fucking god in his own universe, bro. You're low-key trash at scaling Sonic, and you're an asshole who made me look like a bad person. Are we fucking serious? Keep in mind, I didn't insult this dude at all. I never came at this character. Bro was just stubborn as a fucking ox. Like, power scalers were dead ass, look you in the eye, read the manual where it says these characters are rivals, they're equals, and go, yeah, they're not rivals anymore because Sonic or Shadow got fucking new amps, and never think about why that'd be fucking dumb for the specific story. Like, wow, this fucking character is way too strong for this rivalry to work. Maybe I should actually ground this in reality and critically analyze this with more further thought. No, they never do that. They never do that. That never happens. That literally never happens. They fucking just have to go, actually. Because they can't fucking help themselves, bro. It's genuinely fucking insane how someone can read a manual that explicitly states Sonic and Shadow have equal strength, equal speed. They share the same shit. And then spend 3 hours explaining why Shadow is actually fodder or weaker than Sonic because Sonic did a specific fucking backflip in a cutscene. And this dude was also trying to use the fucking... Like, he was trying to argue that Sonic has immortality because of the goddamn scabbard of Excalibur from Sonic and the Black Knight. It's not even his fucking sword! It's fucking King Arthur's sword, bro! Sonic doesn't even just walk around with that in his back pocket. In Sonic and the Black Knight, the scabbard is what Merlina is thirsting after, dude. Because it grants immortality. Type 1 and 3, dude! Specifically, Eternal Youth and high-speed regeneration. And it's not even like it's a little cheat code, bro! Combining the 4 sacred swords, right? Caliburn, Arondite, Galatine, and Levantine completely nukes the scabbard sword. Like, for fuck's sake, it literally says this in the Sonic Wikipedia. The fact that Excalibur itself ignores the scabbard's protection proves that this isn't some absolute defense. And it's not like Sonic genuinely kept this shit in his toolkit. Like, he literally went on a whole mission to get it back from Merlina's bitch ass. The Wikipedia literally confirms that Sonic had to gather the other sacred swords, specifically to blunt its power. It's a bunch of physical swords that can counteract the scabbard's protection. It is not superior to every single thing, dude. That's stupid. It's just high-tier magical shield with a literal off switch built into the lore. After the fight with Excalibur Sonic, the scabbard's usage on the world was undone. The immortality Merlina was trying to force onto reality was poof, just erased, dude. Like, Sonic himself still has fucking limits, bro. Like, I skill Sonic pretty goddamn high. Well, I mean, I used to. I'm not really a power scale anymore because, you know, you saw the title of the video, but dude, calm the fuck on, man. Like, do Sonic scalers just think that do they think that he just beats everyone in his verse? That he just eclipses everyone in his verse? Like, that makes no sense. Because if that's the case, that's seriously poor media literacy, man. Sonic's not the only strongest character in the verse, bro. Even I know that shit. Like, I played Sonic and Knuckles, like, millions of times. Over and over. Knuckles is literally the only character who can punch the emeralds out of Sonic due to his deep connection to the emeralds. If Sonic actually eclipsed everyone that hard, the narrative framework of the series would just collapse. Like, no one is reading a fucking story where the hero just beats every single character in one blow. That is fucking stupid. Like, if Sonic actually did that shit, that would just be pointless, dude. You can't have a rivalry with Shadow if the gap between them is an infinite qualitative hierarchy. That just doesn't fucking work. It does not work at all. Beings like Blaze, Silver, and even Metal Sonic are written to be relevant in these high-tier cosmic threats, dude. Like, scalers would rather turn Sonic into the Hedgehog Christ, you know, the next Hedgehog Christ, you know, fucking, than admit that he's just part of a competitive ecosystem of warriors. It's doing way too much to protect the spreadsheet while ignoring the actual script where Sonic still relies on his team and his rivals to save the multiverse. It's fucking stupid. Don't even get me started on the Mario scalers, bro. Both the Sonic scalers and the Mario scalers are equally just as bad. Like, especially since they've always been beefing with each other, dude. Saying Sonic is fucking city level or saying Mario is only like city level. Like, what the fuck? I have been seeing downplay from both sides. I literally tried to root for both sides, dude. Like, for fuck's sake. Like, bro, I've done a video like this before. There are way too many feats for both Sonic and Mario to even scale, bro. Like, can we just agree that they're both overpowered and leave it at that? Like, why does it even matter if Mario beats Sonic or Sonic beats Mario? Like, at all. None of those games even care about power scaling in the slightest. Like, Mario, like, nothing in Sonic or Mario is even consistent. Like, bro, literally in Mario 64, Mario can be seen drowning, dude. But in the 2D games, he's perfectly fine and can swim through fucking water, just fine. And somehow he can take multiple hits from lava in the Galaxy games. But when he hits lava in the 2D games, he fucking dies. Like, what? That's stupid. Same thing can go for Sonic. Like, when he fucking hits spikes, he loses all his rings. And all this other shit. Or in Sonic Unleashed, he loses a portion of his rings. But in the classic games, he fucking loses all of them. That makes no sense. Like, where's the narrative consistency there? It's stupid. Like, none of this even matters. Nothing about Sonic is consistent all the fucking time. Same for Mario. Like, nobody is thinking about who's winning in a fight because I know we're gonna be all fucking booting up some Super Mario Bros. 3 or some Sonic Unleashed or some shit at the end of the day. Like, it's pointless, bro. No one's thinking about this shit. We're all playing the games, bro. Like, who gives it? Like, and why the fuck would Sonic fight Mario? Like, at all? What the fuck is the story for that bullshit? What is this shit? The video game Civil War? Mario's gonna fucking rip Sonic's head off Kratos God of War style or some shit? Like, literally, why in a million years would they ever fight over some bullshit? The idea of Mario and Sonic having a blood feud is fucking insane mental gymnastics just to justify to me. These two literally spend their time, you know, playing tennis, competing in the 100-meter dash, and having a blast in the Olympic Games. Imagine the script for that bullshit. Like, what did Sonic do? Did he accidentally step on a Goomba? Did Mario eat the last chili dog? The tonal dissonance is enough to give you a fucking stroke. Mario is a guy who says wahoo and saves a kingdom of a bunch of deformed mushroom babies. And it's so out of character. It's straight up character assassination for the sake of a debate. You've got Mario, a guy whose entire existence is built on jumping around and shit and saving a kingdom made of sentient mushrooms. And Sonic, a guy, you know, a hedgehog, who literally preaches that every world has its end and values freedom above all else. And fucking destroying insect robots and shit. They are literally the personification of good vibes and heroism, dude. The idea that they would literally suddenly develop a bloodlust and start ripping each other's limbs off is pure edgy fanfiction bullshit, bro. And I don't want to be a part of that crowd any goddamn longer. And also, it's also just like, I feel like certain power scalers, not all by the way, not all of them, I want to clarify, some of them act insanely entitled. It is engraved in the media to the point where power scalers are genuinely saying shit like, all animes use power scaling or some shit. Like, Dragon Ball started off power scaling. Dragon Ball trivialized it. Dragon Ball made it popular. Like, I'm not gonna name names of who said it because I don't want to throw people on the bus and that's kind of fucking mean. Kind of rude. So just take my words with a pinch of salt when I say this. It's just fucking stupid, okay? Dragon Ball popularized battle power via scouters, but it did that specifically to show how unreliable and stupid those numbers were. The entire point of the Saiyan Saga was that the guys with the lower numbers could win through technique and teamwork. It's like, bro, these writers don't understand what the fuck power scaling is, dude. It's just fucking world building. They're trying to figure out how to make a scene hit harder emotionally, and you know, not how many layers of infinity a character's punch can collapse the fucking world, dude. When an author writes a character that transcends all, they usually mean it in a more poetic way than show that they're a big deal. A writer thinks it's sick for Spider-Man to knock out a cosmic herald because it just shows the strength of a human spirit. The writer isn't bad at scaling, they just aren't scaling at all. They're world building. I said that like millions of times in this goddamn script. Trying to get you to invest in the goddamn world. Like, I deadass heard a YouTuber, like, in a video be like, well, if it were for us power scalers, you probably wouldn't even know how strong these characters are. Like, no. No! You cannot say that shit. No. You can't. Like, people have fucking eyes and a brain, dude. They can read. They can read about how strong a character is, dude. Like, it's like you're actively trying to say people don't have the reading comprehension to understand how strong a character is, to the point where they're so goddamn lazy and brain dead. They need to look up a video on how strong a character is. Like, they can't fucking open a book and read that shit for themselves. No. They gotta go to fucking, like, just a random ass power scaler to see their input on where the calculations are. Like, bro, the internet is fucking free. Google is free. Like, okay, I'm not trying to come after these types of people, right? I'm not saying people can't make those how strong is blankety blank blank videos. Like, that's not what I'm saying. You're allowed to do that shit. I could be less of a fuck. Like, bro, I still watch those videos because they're kind of fun to watch at times. But saying shit like, yeah, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't know how strong your favorite character is. First off, bro, you're not even the one who wrote the goddamn book or the fucking script. So, who are you to say that shit? Second off, people have brains, dude. They can read shit for themselves. They don't need the fucking help of Seth the programmer to help understand how strong Thor's nutsack is when he slapped it across the Hulk's face, dude. You can literally just look this shit up, man. The internet is fucking free, dude. Not even just the internet. You can literally read the comic books online for free on pirated websites, bro. Information is free, dude, and reading comprehension isn't a superpower. These scalers didn't invent the concept of a character being strong. They just invented a way to make themselves feel important by gatekeeping the obvious. And it's like, I'm always seeing these types of people, these types of dudes, making fucking response videos to other people who say, oh, Powerscaling is kinda dumb. And it's always like, these fucking thumbnails with like a fucking title going, this is a cringe, you're cringe! It's like, bro, that just reeks of insecurity to me, bro. Like, no offense to these guys, right? I'm sure they're just trying to like fucking have people understand why Powerscaling isn't all that bad, but like when you make videos like that, I'm gonna be 100% honest, it does not make you look good. I really don't think people are gonna be looking at these videos with like a smile on their face going like, wow, yeah, Powerscaling really is misunderstood. Like, no, dude, it just reeks insecurity. Like, you had to make an entire, like an hour-long video just to deflect off of the criticisms of the Powerscaling community because some random-ass normie thought your hobby was stupid. It's like, bro, who gives a fuck? Just do what you want, bruh. Why are you letting some random-ass dude on the internet dictate what you should do and what you shouldn't do? All they're doing is just giving their dumbass opinion on the internet. It's like, every time somebody says some shit about Powerscaling, it's always gotta be some shit like, Powerscaling doesn't ruin the narrative, or some shit like, Powerscaling is dumb. And it's like, they're going on this whole ass tirade about how how everyone else is wrong about their hobby, and how everyone else is cringe and dumb for not understanding it. And it's saying shit like, oh, you just look like the dude who doesn't want people having fun. That's pretty miserable, bro. Like, bro, I'm gonna be completely real with you guys. But it's like, would it be so hard as to just fucking ignore them? Like, in general? Like, who gives a shit what any of these other dudes are saying about your internet culture? You don't even know them at the end of the day, bruh. Like, where is this need to protect such a niche community that most people in real life don't care about? Like, where's that coming from in general? I never understood that shit, bro. I feel like when someone says the hobby is dumb, for certain scalers, they don't hear your hobby is dumb, they hear you are a total loser who wasted your life on nonsense. That's why they make those hour-long response videos. Like, most people would just be like, yeah, it's kind of a dumb hobby, but I don't care because I like it, and move on with their lives. Like, nobody's obligating them to create hour-long videos saying, nuh-uh, to the criticisms. One person says it's goofy to pixel scale a crater, and suddenly they're digging up 19th century German philosophy to debunk the guy. He's probably just taking a shit while he typed the comment. fucking mental illness disguised as math. Like, this is like advanced schizophrenia. Motherfucker's gonna start getting put in a straitjacket talking about some Ant-Man is out of Earth or some bullshit like Goku Soul is all a fiction, bro. It's stupid. Anyways, I'm not gonna be doing power scaling videos anymore because I just low-key don't care about this bullshit no more, bro. It does not really satisfy me at all. I honestly feel like power scaling strips the soul of the medium, and I'd rather choose narrative consistency and good writing rather than a bunch of numbers and calculations that barely truly mean anything to the actual impact of influential, stories. So, I'm not going to be doing any of that power scaling shit after making this video. So, don't request for stuff like that. You're not going to get any answers, man. I'm gone, bro. I'm off. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with the community. I'm separating myself from the community and just moving on, bro, because I don't really want to deal with this shit. It kind of sucks. And I just don't really care anymore. I know people enjoy those videos, so I'm not really going to get rid of them. Go on and watch them, talk about them, share them, I don't know, do what you want. But, I don't really care. Just go on ahead. Debunk them if you want to. I mean, hell, I don't even think half of my fucking videos are all that great. I already know I said a lot of things that most people don't agree with in this video and other videos, but, I don't really care. I mean, why should I care? Everything is just my opinion. And, if people take that personally, then, you know what? That's just on them, dude. I'm not... If they get mad about it and say whatever the fuck they want, I'm not really... That's not really my responsibility. Like, that... I'm just moving on, bro. I don't care. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to negotiate. I'm moving on from this type of content. Alright? I'm gonna be making different content. Might be less serious. Might even be reviewing, like, cartoons, movies, and stuff like that. I don't know. Just talking about stuff in general, other than power scaling, because this shit was a roller coaster. Thanks for sticking by me with this stuff, but yeah. Anyways, if you liked the video, like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. I'm not sure when I'm gonna start uploading more. My schedule's kind of random, bro. I don't really. Sometimes I just like have random thoughts for videos, and then just like sit on them for a while and think about them. Gotta go through like a whole fucking process and shit. Or sometimes it's just like don't really feel like making videos and just sit there. But yeah, I'll be seeing you guys later.